Okay, guys, are you all there? Okay, let's see whether you guys are there. Okay, you guys are there. Okay, let's start. Okay, so today we will discuss these real problems. Okay, and both these three problems, except especially for the second one and the third one, are math problem. Okay, the second one and the third one is a math problem. But the first one actually is not difficult. It's just a simulation. Okay, just simulation. That means what the requirement asks you do, you just do it, but you just translate it to the, you know, yeah. Some guy said a timeout. Okay, let's discuss where it can be timeout. Okay, and so the requirement said give you some kings and some calls. Okay, here is a calls. I have 3 calls, m kings. So this is 3 calls. Of course, you can save in the array. Okay, and for the kings, you can save in the array. And the first thing is that you cannot sort them because the requirement asks you to do them one by one in the input order. So you cannot sort that. So what's the logic? The first king is 6. It's the first king. It's 6. So this is 0, this is 6. Then it's just use the while loop, continue to do what? 3 call, first call come here to eat that. So it will eat from 0 to 3, right? From 0 to 3. So it will eat 3 once. So the first call change to 7. Okay, remember change to 7. And because you change to 6, sorry, you need to add this 3 to the first call. His heat increased. Then second call, 2 come here to eat. Now your king becomes 3, 6. Because the second call is 2, he cannot eat, right? He cannot eat. Cannot eat. How we judge cannot eat? It's just, this one smaller than this one, right? Smaller than this one, so he cannot eat. Skip it. For the third one is 5. 5 is this tire. So it can eat this pair from 3 to 5. This is it. So your king become 5 to 6. And this one eat 2, so change to 7. Why is while loop? This is one turn. This one turn you try every call. After you try every call, the king change to this one from 5 to 6. You need to loop another time for each call. For the first call, now it's 6, right? No longer 3. So you try use 6 because the heat is 6. The king is 5 to 6. So you eat because 6 bigger than 5, so you can eat. That's the first thing. And how many you can eat? You can eat from 5 to the minimum between your course heat and the top of this king, right? So here is 6. So he can eat them. So his heat changed to 7. And he finished this eating. So it's finished. So we can stop. We don't need to loop this one. I don't know why download code timeout. Maybe here you can do something. No need to try all of them. If we use while loop, so the basic logic is while, for each king. For each king means that you need to loop the king array. For example, here we are doing 6. And for each king, you do what? You while this king is not 0. That means you didn't eat it out. Okay, you can use any data structure to represent this. And you do what? You just try for each call. This is your basic logic. You should write something. For each call, you do what? You just judge whether he can eat, right? If can't, you just continue. Continue means that you skip this call, you do the next call. And if he can eat, you should change the size the core heat, you should add something. And also you should change the king, change the king. And we can add some optimization here. If king eat up, you just break, right? Something like that. You shouldn't try other course. Just do this one. Okay, now we finished. Here I just simulate how you eat the first one. For the second one, now your array is 7 to maybe I missed something. Okay, 7 to here, or here you eat 1. Okay, and you just get here is 6. Sorry, maybe I made some numbers wrong, but that's okay. The second king is 0 to 1. Of course, first call can eat it. You just eat it. Okay, so it's so easy. Just eat it. Okay, and just eat it. For the second, same. Okay, guys, its logic is very clear, right? It's not difficult. Okay. 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 So no, let's first answer. There are some questions. The first question is downloads question. Quick question is past things in C++. And it worked in other compiler, but not in depth C++. Yes, in depth C++, you need, if you want to support C++ 11, you need to change some things, you see? But C++ only supports depth C++, you see here, we only support C++ 11. So it doesn't support C++ 17. But what we all learned until now, you can just use C++. No need to use C++ 17. Of course, if you build your code in C++ 11, you can submit it in the here. If you choose C++ 11, C++ 17, that's okay, because C++ 17 will support C++ 11. Okay, that's okay. So you just use C++ 11 is enough. Okay, no need to use C++ 17. And Timothy said, I think it's continue. You can use break, continue, or return neutral, or depends on what you mean. Okay, you guys means what? My question? This continue? Yeah, maybe I write this wrong. Okay, continue. Okay, something. Okay, you mean here? Okay. I go to your guys. Yes, this break means that you break this call loop. Okay. You see this break, I put it in this for each call. Maybe I should put it in each call. You just break this call loop for this king, because we use while loop to judge whether king is 0. So of course it will stop. Okay, that's the mean logic. That's okay. Okay, no matter use which one. And after you got this one, the next thing for you guys is to translate this code to the C++ 11. The basic algorithm, basic framework is just here. It's just here. And we need to design the data structure. Okay, we need to design the data structure. It's so easy. For the second one, for the first one, the core heat, of course, you can just use the vector int is enough. Because for each core, it's only have a heat, and you just add something on that. That's enough, okay? And for the second kings, although the given numbers for each king is 1 number, but you need to use a struct or pair, right? Because after you iterate, at the beginning, it's from 0 to 6. You need to mark the low point and the high point. You need these 2 numbers. If you eat the first 3, then you should change your interval to 3 to 6. So for the king, you need to mark an interval rather than 1 integer. You need 2 numbers, the bottom and the top. So that means we can use pair or struct to do that, right? After you declare you can declare vector pair int. The first maybe is the top. The second at the beginning is 0. You can just do that, right? And you got these two structure, then you just for each key, you just loop this array. While king, this king is not 0, that means while this king's the top and the bottom is same, or the bottom is bigger than the top, means that you eat them all. So this is 3, 6. If you eat 3 of them, you will change your bottom, the bottom to 6, right? You eat all of them. So 6, 6 means that nothing to eat. Okay, that's easy to judge. And for others, just translate. Okay, guys, does anyone has any question on this algorithm, this logic? Okay, it's easy, right? You guys should finish the first one. Okay, and let's see here. I give you some code I did first. Okay, one thing. Okay, you need to use long. Okay, because the numbers can be a huge number. Okay, and you see, I just saved the course in a vector long, and these kings in a vector pair long. So the first is the top, the bottom. The second is the bottom. At the beginning, the bottom is 0. Then I just try this one. For each kings, what we do, okay, here I didn't use while loop. That's okay, because I will add in this for loop here. That means I loop each call, and from the first call to the last call, the index plus. And the stop condition is that I finish all the call, or the first not equal to the second. That means the bottom is not equal to the top. That means is there still some edge, something left in this king you can eat. You can add this one. Of course, you can move this out like here, right? You can check here if there, if this equal, you just break. No need, to check other calls. Okay, you move here or add here is same logic. And each time just the simulation. If this code G smaller equal than the second, the bottom, you can eat. If the bottom is 3, your hit is 2, just continue this call, skip this call. And how many each? The minimum was what? My hit and the top. Mean number of them minus the bottom is what you eat. Right? Then you change the second, and you add what you eat. You finished. Finally, you just say out that, right? So then you can check, why your timeout. This is a basic logic. You can see what's the difference with your code. Okay, what else you do. Okay, it shouldn't be timeout. I don't know why you timeout, because you don't use long, or here you do not break this one. I don't know. Okay, but it's yeah. Okay, so if the same logic, it should pass all the case. But here, guys, this problem, when I look at this problem at the beginning, I do not use this method. I think it's a tough problem. Why? You see here, loop m times, right? Loop n times. The time complexity is O(n) times m, correct? O(n) times m, it will time out. And also this O(n) is not only O(n). You see, yes, it's O(n) timeout. So why we do? It's not timeout, right? Why is timeout? Right? It's not timeout, correct? Actually, it's not timeout. So why is not timeout, correct? It's because actually, the first call, every time you eat something, this call grows very quickly, right? grow very quickly. And then finally he can eat, after you do some times, do some round, all the kings will be eat maybe by the first call, by some call, because its heat is top enough. Okay. So actually it's not timeout. But this is not very good, is that, we cannot just say the time complexity. It's difficult to, to define the time complexity. It depends on the numbers. But we know it will not time out. Okay. So we can use this either way. So the difficult thing is at the beginning you think that, NM is too huge. It will time out. But actually it will not. Okay. It will not. Okay. Is there any question for this one, guys? It should be easy. Okay. Okay. And the top one is second and the third one. Okay. Actually, okay, Bruce is here. We just finished the first one. Okay. In case Bruce is just joining. No, we're discussing the second one. Okay. The first one is easy. For the second one, is here. It's something, we need do the analysis. We need to write a lot of numbers, test case to analysis. Guys, when you join the contest, if you got a tough question, what we'll do first step is always create more simple that and do it by hand. Then figure out the pattern behind them. Then figure out a way that you can solve them. The simple input, only 2 simple input. It maybe is not enough for you to figure out. So you may need to create more. Yeah, you didn't figure out the pattern. Okay, yes. So that means you need to try. Okay, what? Let's see this one. Let's first see the simple input. I assume that you all guys understand the requirement, right? This 5 course is yield finally. We want to know the minimum number of course that could have start at the beginning is yield, is seeked. So he can, infect others. So how many for this one? Okay. So for this one, actually the first call, can be only one course. If this call is seeked, one day these 2 will seeked. Another day these 2 will seeked, right? So if this one call seeked at the beginning, 2 days, after 2 days, it will affect all the calls like this one. So the minimum number is 1. But guys, sometimes you need, there are some tips. We not only know the mean answer is 1, we also know you need 2 or more night, right? 2 night. So if you only have 1 night, your answer shouldn't be 1, right? Julian, you got that? 1 night you can't get that or affect. So that means this minimum number is also related with the night. How many days you have? Because each day you can only affect at most 2 neighbors, right? At least, at most 2 neighbors. Okay, this is first observation. Okay, let's say this one. That is not enough. This one, you see, there is 3 call here, 1 call here. The answer is 4. Okay, 4 means what? How many days, guys? 0 day, right? 4 means that all these 4 calls seeked at the beginning. You only need 0 day to do that. I have a question you think about. Can you do 2 days? Right? Why I think 2 days? Do you guys have some idea? If there is more days, the course at the beginning seeked should be the less number, the smaller number, right? The more days you get, the minimum number, the smaller number you need at the beginning. Guys, do you understand this one? Right? More days, right? For example, here, if I only have this one, guys, if you have 3 days, I can have 3 days, okay? So if you have 2 days, how many core at the beginning you need? If you have 2 days, yes, 2, right? If you have 2 days, you need 1 core. 2, yes, 2 core. You know, this core is you, this core is you, then 1 day, 1 day, 2 days, okay? But if you have 1 days, how many core you need? You only have 1 days. Yes, you need 4 cores, right? And if you have 0 days, you need 6 cores. Right, guys? Uh, 1 day means that can there be a core on index 2? You mean index 2 means this one? And this one? Okay, yeah. Tim says, do you mean this one? Index 2. So you start index with 0 or 1? We always start with 0. Yes. Oh, index 2 is this one. Oh, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm wrong. Okay, thank you. Julian have a job that. Okay, so 1 days. Yes. Oh, 2 days you need 2 cores. 1 days. Yes. Great. You can also need 2 cores. Is that right, guys? 1 days, right? It seems okay. 1 days you can, have 2 cores. This first day, you know, okay. So I'm wrong. It's 2. Okay. And maybe this is not good enough. We create more numbers. Okay, here now we have 9 cores. Okay, 9 cores. And let's see the first thing, we want to study how many core we needed. The minimum core needed. First, think about how many do you needed for this one? How many cores you needed? The minimum core you needed is only 1, right? But if you need 1 course, how many do you need? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 days. 4 days. Is anything related with the days, right? So if there is 3 days, how many we need? 3 days. Yeah. You need, find the pattern for these days. If you know you have 3 days, right? You know you have 3 days. How can we do that? 3 days. What is the best way to do that? 3 days. Think about it. 3 days. Every day you want the mean number. So that means every day you want to affect 2 cores, right? Affect 2 cores. Every day you want to affect 2 other cores. So totally you have 9 cores. 9 cores. every day you want to assume the biggest number is every 3 days. If every day you can have another 2 course, right? Another 2 course. Every day you pass 2 course, 2 course, 2 course. So think about what is the answer. Maybe if you want to 3 days, 3 days. You have 3 days and 1, 2. 3 days is also 1, 2 course, 3 course. Yeah, 3 course is enough, right? 3 days. You cannot make this one. If this one, he go here, go here. So actually, 3 days means what? No. This call 1, 2, 3. So you can make this call 6. This call 6. Right? So that's 2 calls. 2 calls. Okay? This call, this call. You see what I dropped here? Why? I need to figure out a way to calculate that. Okay? So you see, I need, this is 3, 1. This is 3, 1. Right? These 2, 3 calls. Because 3 days. Why I do this one? You see? Why I do this one? Okay? Because you cannot make this call 6. If you make this call 6, you have 3 days. It will affect this call. Right? It will affect this call. So that means if you have 3 days, this 3 call cannot be sicked. And this 3 call cannot be sicked. Right? Any of these 3 call cannot be sicked. You have 3 days. This 3 call, this 3 key cannot be sicked. So here, how many left here? Right? So these 3, totally you have 9. So you minus this one, you have 3 call. Now these 3 call, you need, affect them. Okay, you choose how many affect them. At the beginning, 1 day affect. Okay, or you can choose, half of them affect. That's enough. 3 call, you can only have some, 2 of them. That's enough. Right? So it's something like 3 minus 2 times 3, or 9 minus this one, then maybe divided by 2. And you need to sell it. Something like that, right? Something like that. This is a math problem. You need to figure out that one, okay? These 3 days, these 3 call, you cannot make it affected at the beginning. So you only leave 3 calls for you to affect them. And these 3 calls, you want to affect them, and you cannot make the, you have at most 3 days to affect 3 calls, okay? And let's do another thing, okay? This is maybe you didn't figure out that at this time. That's okay. We do, this is 3 days. If you have 2 days, how many? 2 days. Right? 2 days, this 2 call, you cannot be sicked at the beginning. So there must be some call sicked here. And also you need, for the 2 days, you need to go here, right? 2 days, think about 2 days. That means 2 days. This is 1 day, this is 2 days. So this guy, you need to be 6, right? This guy need to be sicked. At the beginning, this guy need to be sicked. And at the beginning, this guy need to be sicked. Otherwise, how do you know 2 days, right? 2 days you need to go here. You cannot make this 6 because it will go 0. So this guy need 2 days. This guy need 6 so that it's 2 days go here. This guy need 2 days go here. So these 2 6. And if these 2 6, we need 2 days. So this one all can finished. So 2 is enough. Still 2 goes. You see 2 days, 3 days is the same answer, right? 2 days, 3 days is the same answer. Because these 2 guys can go to the middle one. We left. So this something, you know, maybe is we have 2 days. So these 2 cannot fit. At least we need minus this one. Right? Something like this one. Okay, I can minus this 2 part. But for the future ones, these 2 need 6. Right? So how do we know that? Maybe we found another way. Okay. So I leave this. Okay, guys. I leave this question. You know, how do you calculate this one? Okay. Okay, we will figure out that next. But maybe when you know, when you do this one, you find something. If you can't, that's okay. What we are finding here is that, you know, if there is 1 days, that means, okay, 1 days. If we separate here, 1 days means that, you know, 1 days, this code need 6, right? This code need 6 at the first day. And this code can affect this code. And this code can affect this code, but cannot affect. So actually 3 cores, right? 3 cores. 3 core is enough. At the beginning, it means this core and this core and the middle one. Okay, middle one. 3 core is enough. So no matter what, we find something. Okay, you can draw something. Oh, actually, if you do not write this thing, you know that. That means more day you have, less core you need. Guys, do you agree with this one? More core, more day, and less core. I mean 6 core, okay? You have more days, you have less cores, okay? More days, you know, day, you know, 0, 1, 2, 6, 2, 2. More days, less cores. That's the first idea. More days, less cores. Okay, we have some idea. This idea, actually, if you do not use these numbers, you can also get that. You should have that sense. Okay, more days, less cores. Okay, more days, less cores. Okay, then we draw something. Oh, we think about something like this one. For this one, why the answer is 4? Why we cannot use only 1 course? Right? The 4 course means that you have 0 days. You have 0 day. We know that more days we have less core. If we want this number smaller, we should have more days. Right? But we can only have 4. We cannot have other answers smaller than 4. That means, can we have 1 days? Right? For this one? If we have 1 days, at least for this one, we only need 1 core, right? For this 3 one, we only need 1. But we know if there is 1 days, you know, this is wrong. You will affect this core. That's wrong, right? So that means 4 also defined another thing, 0 days. The minimum number always come with the days, okay? Always come the days. Maybe this is not easy. We write some other numbers. 1, maybe is also 0. Okay? Guys, think about how you get the answer for this one. What you do by hand, okay? Figure out the answer by hand. First, let me know answer. Answer is what? How many core? This core, this core, this core, 3 core, right? So how do you get this answer? How do you get this answer? Right? Yeah. Think about it, guys. Actually, you got this answer is what? You want to try what? If you want to try, okay, you want to try, for example, for this one, it's one course. But for this one, how many cores we needed so that this 5 core is affected? Actually, the mean answer for this one is 1. You only need 1 course, right? But why you do not, use 1 core to affect all these 5 cores? Why? Right? Because if you use 1 course to affect these 5 cores, you need 2 days. Correct, guys? You need 2 days. If you only have 1 core at the beginning, you need 2 days. But if you have 2 days, you cannot find the answer for these 3 ones. Right? 2 days, no matter which core is sicked, you can't. You just can't. Right, guys? Do you got this one? Other guys? You can't get this one, okay? If there is, you need to figure out what you think about that, right? By hand, okay? How I get the answer 3? I think your way is always think, okay, this 3 one, I only need 1 course. And this 3 one, I think this 5 one, I can need 1 core. But the final answer is not 2, it's 3. Why? I think, 1 core is okay. I can just make this one sick, right? Make this one sick, I got the answer. But I can't. It's conflict, right? This one, I can go to 1 core. This one, if I go to 1 core, this 1 core I can get. Why? Right? You need to think about why. Because if this one I got 1 core, I need 2 days. Then here, if I got 1 core, 2 days, I will affect these 2 zeros. That's wrong. Think about it, guys. Here, actually, when you do it by hand, you think about the days. Right, guys? You think about the days. For example, if you are still, have no idea, think about that. Okay? You may think, what do you do by hand? Okay, this may need 1 days. Okay, this also can 1 days. Right. 1 day is not enough. The median number, okay, the core. You see, this is 1 core. This can be 1 core. And this one, it seems, okay.
1 cow.
This 1 core, yes, it's still 1 core. And here,
1 cow.
it seems 1 core. But the answer is not 4, right? The answer is not 4. Why? You need to figure out how do you get the right answer. The right answer actually is what situation, right? Guys, think about, you think about, how will you get the right answer for this one? Yeah, Julian, how do you get that answer? Right?
Um,
The first thing is what? Is all these 4, 1 can't, right? Then what you do? Yeah, Bruce get something. Julian, think about what you got your answer. What do you do with this one? You need to figure out a way.
um,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I look at how many cows is in each group. If you'll have 1 day.
Yeah. You do what? You try this 1 is not enough. 2 is not enough. No. It's your answer is not 4. It's because what? Because this one, right? Think about that. If this one you need 1 core, it means what? It means you can only have 1 day, right? You can have 1 day, or you can have 0 day. If you have 0 day, here you need 2 cores, correct? 1 day you need 1 cores. 0 day you have 2 cores. So which one is best? Of course, 1 day is best, right? You want this number smaller. So maybe 1 day, okay? So through this one, you know what? Why this one is not okay? Julian, you think about why this one is not okay. Why we cannot use only 1 core? The reason is that if you use 1 core, you need 1, 2, 3 days, right? Think about it, guys. Julian, if you need 3 days for this one, here you can only have 1 days or 0 days, right? You can't have more than 1 days. If you have more than 1 days, you cannot find the answer. No matter how many core here in this segment is sick at the beginning, you at most you can use 1 day. If you have 2 days, who sick? This sick? 1 day, 2 day. Okay, wrong, right? You cannot affect 0. So through this one, we know we at most can have 1 day. At most had 1 day. So here we know 1 is not okay. We cannot have only 1 core sick. Because if it's 1 core sick, you need 3 days to pass all of them. But I don't have 3 days. If there, here I use 3 days. Here I also need to use 3 days. I use 3 days. You know, it's conflict with this one. I said I can only use at most 1 days. So here I can't use 3 days. So I can use what? 0 day or 1 days, right? Or 1 days. Because here, you think about your different option. For this one, you can use 0 days. You can use 1 days. If you use 0 day, you have 2 core sicked. If you use 1 day, you have 1 core sicked. If you use 2 day, impossible, no answer, right? So you can only use 0 day or 1 day. So for this segment, you can have choice 0 day or 1 day. If you have choice 0 day, you need all these 7 core sicked, right? But if you have 1 day, you can have 3 of them sicked, correct? So because we want to find the minimum number, of course, you should choose 1 days, right? We both choose 1 days. So here we add 3, here we add 1. And for this one, same idea. You can choose 1 at the beginning, 1 core. But if you choose 1 core, you see, you use 2 days. If you choose 1 core, you use 2 days to make sure all these 5 core sicked. But here, you can only choose 0 or 1. You can only choose 0 days or 1 days. But no one will choose 0 days. Why? 0 days, you need 5 core sick. But 1 days, you only need 2 core sick. I want the number as small as possible. So of course I choose 1 days. So I add 2. I need 2 of them. Right? Here, similar. If you choose 1 day, you can choose 0 day, 1 day, but you cannot choose 2 days. Okay, 1 day I can choose. 0, 1 I can choose. So I choose 1 day. I only need 1 core. So I got answer, right? So you see, actually this is what you do by hand. you check all the one segment. Remember, the segment is important. Why? This continues 3, 1, and there is 0 in the edge. 0 in the edge means that you can't affect this 0 after several days, right? You can't affect it. Okay, you can't affect it. And here you get some 1, here you get some 1, here you get some 1. I call it one segment. You got some one segment. And at the beginning, you think about, okay, maybe each segment I only need 1 course, that's enough. So that's easy. I just count how many one segment, right? That's the answer. But you find that's wrong. That's wrong. Why that's wrong? Just like this one. You think this is 1 core, this is 1 core, this is 1 core, and you find that, okay, impossible. This one cannot be 1 core at the beginning for this segment. Because why? If there at the beginning is 1 core, you need 3 days to make sure this 7 core seeked. But you find this one, you can't find solution. No matter 1 core seek or 2 core seek, you can't, right? You will finally affect this 0. If you have 3 days, you want to make sure this 7 core is seeked. You need 3 days. If you got answer is 1 for this segment, but it doesn't work with this one. It's conflict. So that means what? You need to find a way that all the segment you can get answer. In this way, you got the mean number. So what's this answer? You check this one. Okay, this can be 0 day, can be 1 day. It cannot be 2 day. If 2 day, you don't have the answer for this one. 2 day, you don't have the answer. So 2 day, you don't have the answer. That means at most you can have 1 day. And we have the conclusion that more day you have, less core you need, right? More day you have, less core you need. It's just like here. You have 3 day, you can use 1 core. You have 2 day, maybe you need 2 or 3 cores. That's different. So here, I can only use 0 day or 1 day. Of course, I need to use 1 days. So 1 days, I need 1 core. And for this one, I can use 1 day, 2 days, 3 day, but I can only use 1 day. Why? Because I can't use 2 days, 3 day. If I use 2 days, 3 day, this segment also use 2 days, 3 day. I just mentioned it's wrong. This segment cannot use 2 days. If you have 2 days, you don't have the answer, right? You don't have the answer. So you can only have 2 days. And this one you have 3 days. No, you can't have 3 days. So you can only have 1 day. This you have 1 day. This you have 1 day. So you know it's 1 day. So the next one is just figure out for each segment, if you have 1 day, how many cores at the beginning you need. Okay, guys, do you understand what I'm talking here? Okay. Okay. And actually, there is tips in this requirement for such thing. What? You know, this is a tips, guys. After some amount of night, right? It's not, 100 days or 1 million days. It's not infinite days. It's some days after some night, right? So after some night, maybe after 1 night, after 2 night, after 3 night, you got this one. So actually it's this night, right? How many night? Guys, how many night? Okay, so the first either way is that maybe we can enumerate this night. Okay, we can try to enumerate this night. Okay, enumerate the night. We know, for example, we just go back here. For these things, let's draw something others. First idea is that, I got these things. Okay, I try to enumerate the night. For example, if you got 3 nights, I mean 3 days, If you go to 3 days, look at here. Okay. Okay, I can't, right? The first one failed. Okay, you can't get 3 days. Then maybe you try 2 days. If you try 2 days, okay, this one got 1. And this one, 2 days, you can make 2 days, 2 of them. Okay, 2 days. This one you can make 1, 2 days, 1, 2. Okay, you need 2. 2 days, you can make this cosec, right? And 1. Okay, 2 days you got answer. So the answer is 2 days, right? This is one way. That means you try how many days? Because the question asks, after several days, you got this one. But I don't know how many days, because the how many days affect the answer, impact the answer. I don't know the how many days. I just enumerate how many days. So the I know the more days, less cost. So I just enumerate the days from maybe bigger to smaller, right? If I find something, I got the answer. Or I can enumerate from smaller to bigger. So this days range can be what? Totally you have n cost. No matter what's the given input, right? How many days you need? The maximum day you need is maybe half n, right? The worst case is all the ones. And you need half n days to, you can choose one course, half n days to affect all of them. So I mean, this one means you can try days from bigger to smaller or smaller to bigger, maybe from bigger to smaller, from half n, maybe is the ceiling to 0. You can be 0 days. You try the days from this one. Inside here, you just for each segment, each one segment. For example, this 3, this 5, right? So one segment is easy to find, guys. Okay, you know how to do that, right? We just loop once. We know, okay, the first segment has 3, 1. This segment has 6, 1, right? We can go to these 3, 6, 7, 4, these numbers. That's so easy, right? We can go to these numbers. If we save these numbers 3, 6, 7, 4 in the array, maybe in another vector array. So we can here loop for each one segment. We can loop them. For each one segment, what do you do? You can just check, okay, if it can find the answer for these days, right? What do you mean? I try day 3, I try this segment. Okay, no, I can't find the answer, right? This is, this interval is 3. If I have 3 days, I can't. So that's wrong, right? So I stop try this one. Then I try next n. So these days become smaller. Finally, the worst case is it's changed to 0. You got your answer, okay? So this time complexity is what? Let's see here. You try every days. This is On, okay? You can see half n, but it's On. But here, for each days, you need to try each segment, right? You need to try each segment. So how many segments here? Maybe it's On, right? Actually, it's half n. Maybe your segment is this one. Something like this one, right? So here you have half n segment. So if you try this one, it's half n. So it's half n times half n. It's On square. But actually, it's not On square, I think. It's not On square. Why? You see, for each number here, if you want to try, okay, you use 10 days. For each segment, the first segment you should stop, right? Actually, it's not On square. Because you see, if you want to this, it depends on how many segment, right? The second loop is how many segment. How many segment? There is 2 cases. First, each segment only have, small ones. Maybe each segment length is very small, maybe 1, maybe 2, something like that. In this case, you see, if you try these days, if day is 10, is 20, is 30, of course, the first one you stop. You have one course. You have 30 days. How is it possible, right? So this loop, actually this for loop only do once. For the first segment, you stop. You mean what I mean, guys? For most test case, actually, this, you want to try each segment. Actually, the first segment is filled for these big days because the segment size is smaller. You only have one course affected in this segment. I said you need to use 10 days. What is the initial number? No, I only have one core, right? I can only have 0 days. So if you validate this segment here, it just stop, break. You will break after you check the first segment. You will not try all these segments. So this one is that the segment number is half n. If segment number is half n, actually you don't do this loop. This loop each time, maybe you do the first one or second segment, you finish that. So actually it's not O n squared, it's something like O n. And also you may think about another case. Another case is that all the segment length is very long, and there are some 0, and all here is a long segment one. Maybe this one is something like half n. This one is similar like half n, or 3 n divided by half, something of that. You have a huge segment. In this case, for this segment, if you have 100 a day, 200 a day, it's okay, right? It's okay. Then you need to check this one maybe. It's also okay. Maybe finally when you check this one, you find that it's not okay. But think about it. In this case, even you loop all the interval, there will be only maybe 2 or 3 interval. Even you do this segment for each segment, right? I only do one each segment. I will not loop each one. So the segment number may be only 2 or 3. So it's still O(n). Guys, do you know what I mean? Okay. So this logic, it seems brute force, seems stupid, but it's okay. Okay. I do not know how many days. Here, night is days. Okay. I don't know how many days. I tried. I enumerated. I try whether, 100,000 days okay. Whether 100,000 minus 1 day is okay. Whether 1,000 days okay. Whether 100 days okay. Why do this one? Because I try all these days and I know the days. I know how many call for each segment I needed. I can go to answer for this day. Finally, I just found the mean number between all these days possibilities, right? I just try each one. And for each segment, for each days, how we judge? I just need check all the segment whether these days is okay. If okay, I can calculate minimum day for this segment, a minimum call for this segment. If not okay, I just stop because these days must workable for all the segment, right? If I need 10 days, all the segment need 10 days. If I find one segment, I can't find the solution for 10 days. I can stop it. Okay. It's okay. And if you want to make it faster, even you can, sort your segment. Okay, you can sort your segment. You find your segment is 3, 6, 7, 4. You sort them like 3, 4, 6, 7. This is segment number. That means there is 3 1 together, 4 1 together, 6 1 together, 7 1 together. Then if you want to try, okay, whether 3 day is okay, Whether 3 days is okay, first you need to try this smaller number, right? Because if the segment, like this one is smaller, that means it's need less days. This you can use more days, right? So you try the smaller one first. If it's not okay, you stop that. Okay? If okay, you try this one. If okay, you try this one. Okay? That's workable. Okay? Guys, do you understand what I mean? Okay? This is brute force. You can finish this one. Okay? You can do this one. But of course, this is not the best way. The best way is what? Is something like this one. Okay? As I said, each segment, you can count. This segment has 2, 1. This has 4, 1. This has 5, 1. This has 7, 1. This has 3, 1. Right? You got this segment. And if you save them in the array, you got this one. Okay, you got this segment. What you can do, just check that, right? Guys, the max day you needed is decided by, is possible divided by what segment. Actually, you don't need to check all the segments to find how many days. You can do. You just check this segment, and this segment. What I mean, you need to check the first segment and the last segment and the smaller one between other segment. Why? Because there is a special case. The first segment, no, it's not 0, 1, 1. It's 1, 1. This one is different with this one, right? You know what I mean, guys? If your number is this one, for this segment, at most you need 2 days. At most you can use 2 days. 1 day, sorry. 2 days. 1 days. If you have 2 days, you can't find the solution, right? You can only use 1 days. But if your number is this one, I mean, this is the beginning, okay? There's no 0 here. Then you can use 1, 2, 3 days. You can use 1 course, 3 days to finish this one. But here, you can use 1 days and 2 course. That's different, right? You also have 4 course. Whether there is 2 0 beside this 4 course or only 1 0, that's different. So this is a special case. This is a special case. This is 2 special case. And for all the others, the maximum days defined by the smallest segment length. This is 4, this is 5, this is 7. Then the days defined by this one, right? For example, no, this one, I need at most 1 day. You cannot use 2 days, right? If you use 2 days, you cannot find a solution. This is 1 day. And this one, also 1 day. And this one, you can do 2 days. 1 day, 2 days, 1 day. So through this 3 interval, I know the maximum day I can use is 1 because the minimum between them is 1. So I can use only 1 days. I know it's 1 days. Here, the difference with the prior exam is that I do not enumerate all the days. I can calculate the days directly, right? If you cannot calculate, you just use the pre-exam. You just enumerate every day. It also works. But if you can summarize these things, actually, because that more days, less course. If you want the answer to be minimum, you need to use more days. So this amount of night should be as bigger as possible. But this one actually can be defined, can be calculated. Okay, this segment needs 2 days. This segment at most 1 day. This segment at most 2 days. then you know you can only use 1 day. You can't use 2 days because if you use 2 days, these two wrong. So you just select the minimum number of all the segment days you can do. But actually no need to do every one. You just find the smallest segment and choose special one. Your days defined by this 3 1. Why? Because this one, you know, both 0 beside that. This one both 0 beside that. This has 5 cores. This has 7 ones. Of course, this 5, 7 can have more days than these 4 ones. Right? You can 4 days. So you got the answer is 1. Then you know it's 1 days. You just loop your segment another time. You just calculate. Okay, it's 2 days. And because it's 2 cores, and you need to know it's a special one. It's the first one. So you need 1 course. And these 4 cores, you have 1 day, you need 2 cores. And this 5 day, 5 ones, you need, you have 1 day. You have 1 day, you need 3 cores. Right? This 7, you need 1 day. 1 day, you mean you need 1 day. 1 day means that this one cannot pass here. 1 day, that means this one, 3, right? And this one, 1 days, you need 2. So you got your answer. Right, guys? You okay? Think about that. Okay? Do you guys understand what I'm talking here? Any question? Okay. You just, this is the second algorithm. You just calculate what is the max day you can use. Why we do this? Because for each one segment separated by 0, each one segment, the more days you get, the less code you needed. So if you want minimum number of cores at the beginning for all the segment, of course, you want the maximum day worked here. You want more days for each segment, for each core to affect others. But after our observation, we know we can't get 10 days, 20 days, 100 days. We want it as big as possible, but it has a limitation. For this case, at most, you can use 1 day. You can't use 2 days, 3 days. We want to use more days, 2 days, 3 days, but it's defined by this segment. According to this segment length, especially this one, and this one, we know the maximum day you can use is 1. You can't use 2 days. Of course, you can't use any day bigger than 2 days. So the maximum day you can use is 1 day. And we know the more days, less cores. The most day is 1. Of course, you should use 1 days. Then you go back, use 1 days. You know the days, you know how to calculate the minimum number of cores for each segment. That's another thing, right? You know the days. That's how do you figure out the formula. At least you guys can calculate that. This time you can calculate that. For example, I give you this one. Okay. Okay. If I said, okay, you can use 2 days. It's easy to calculate, right? 2 days. This one. Okay. If I said 2 days, this one is easy to calculate, right? This one, you know how to calculate. 2 days, you have 2 days, you need 1, right? And this one, you have 2 days. 2 days. 2 days. 2 days means that you can have this one and this one. You have 2, right? And this one, you have 2 days. That means you can have this one. It can pass this 2, right? And you have this one. It can pass this 2. Also 2 days. So you know your answer is 5. Right, guys? Do you know what I'm talking, guys? Okay. I only see Timothy. Okay. I cannot see others. Some of you guys are cartoons, so I don't know whether you got that. Okay. Yeah, just give me some feedback. Okay, that's good. Okay, so this is a way. And the second way actually is some math problem. I know this segment is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 ones in this segment. If I know days is 2, how can I calculate the minimum cost I needed for this one? Right? That's a math problem. You can find the patterns. Actually, another way I use is here. I need 2 days, right? 2 days means that this one, the one call, each call can affect how many? Each call can affect 2 times this plus 1, right? You see? Because I have 2 days, this call can affect 5 calls. And this call can affect 5 calls, right? So that means each call can, if I need X calls, then X times 2 times D plus 1 should bigger equal than this 9. Correct, guys? This is a math problem. Are you okay with this one? You know, you have how many days? 2 days. Then one call can affect 5 calls. Why? Itself and this 2, right? So that means each call can affect 2 times D plus 1 calls, including itself. Then how many calls you needed? You need at least X calls. Then you got this formula. X calls, each call affects this number. The totally affect number should be equal than 9. So this, how we get this one? How we get X? X should be equal than 9 divided 2 times D plus 1, right? Guys, you got this one, right? Of course, you just think about, okay, you may think X equal to 9 divided by 2 times D plus 1. Okay, it's something wrong. Why? Because, this divide is for integer, right? For integer. Think about that. I know X bigger equal than 9 divided by 2 times D. This is right. If the day is 2, that means X bigger equal than 9 divided 4 plus 1. That means actually what you want is X bigger equal than this number is what? Is 1.8, right? X bigger equal than 1.8. X is an integer, right? So X should be 2, correct, guys? Do you know what I mean? X should be 2. Not, you cannot like this one. This one, you got X is 1. No, it's not 1. So what we can do, we can get this formula like what? We can like X equal to cell. Remember what we learned cell? Cell maybe use 9.0 divided by 2 times the plus 1. That's a skill we always use cell, you see? That means you want X bigger equal than this float number. What is the first number bigger equal than this float result? It's a cell, right? Cell is the first integer bigger equal than this float number. So if this result is 4, then cell is 4. But if this is 3.5, you want X bigger than 3.5. X is an integer. Of course, X is cell 3.5. Because 4 is the first number bigger equal than 3.5. Okay, guys? This is math, okay? This is really math. But we always use this one, okay? You get this not equation, right? Comparison. You got this one, and you just got your X. You see, this is math. How we summarize, how we get this formula, how we calculate this minimum number calls we needed for this segment based on the days. It's not difficult. It's just write this one. You need at least X cores. I know each core can affect 2 times D plus 1 cores. So I got this one. You need X core times this one. You got how many core together you can affect. This number, we don't know how many X. We want to find X. We know it should be equal than, this 9 actually is the length of this segment. It's how many 1? I got how many 1 here, right? Okay. Julian still do not understand the formula? Okay. Let's write something, okay? How many guys understand this sum formula? Guys, who know this formula? Who understand the formula? No one? Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here I define L is 10. That means there is 10 ones here, right? 10 ones, 10 cores sick. If I know day maybe is 2. I want to know, the minimum number of cores you need so that after 2 days, all these 10 cores is a fact. What I observed, okay, I found every one core at most can affect 2 or 5 cores. You see? If this core sick, it can affect itself. And also, because I have 2 days, it can affect left 2 cores and right 2 cores, right? So each sick core can contribute or affect 2 times D plus 1 cores, sick core. Julian, are you okay with this one? Is this okay?
Why do you need a plus 1?
Itself.
Okay.
You see, right? So 1 core can affect, including itself, totally, like here, 2 times D plus 1. Actually here, I can affect 5 cores, right? I can affect 5 cores. And you see, if I choose another core, it can affect also 5 cores. So 10 cores, how many core I needed? Actually, it's 10 divided by 2. Is L divide. If I do not know this one, the first step is that, maybe there is not only 10 cores, more cores here, lots of 1 here. How do I know how many I needed? Think about every 1 core, I can have 2 times D plus 1 affected. Totally, there is L core affected. So let's assume I at least have X core. Okay, I need X cores at the beginning 6. Then X times this one is how many core I can affect it. This one must bigger equal than L. If you need X cores at the beginning is 6, then these X cores, each one at most affect this cores. This cores times X is the total affected cores. The total affect cores, of course, should bigger equal than L. Bigger equal than L. Otherwise, you can't, right? So for example, if your L is 11, you have 11 cores. You can't use 2 cores at the beginning. Why? Each core can affect 5 cores. This 5 core, you need 1. This 5 core, you need 1. But you can only affect 10 cores, right? So 2 cores at most affect 2 times 5 cores. Am I right? 2 times 5. So for this case, you don't need 2, you need 3. 2 is not enough. Why? Each core affect 5 cores. You see? So we don't know this 2 or 3. We think it's X. What if we can get this X? If you have the X core at the beginning is yield 6, then each core can affect these numbers. So The max number this x code can affect is these numbers. If we want this x workable, then this one must bigger equal than L. L is how many one together. So this one must bigger equal than this one. This one is easy, right? We want how we get x. We change this. We move this 2 times d plus 1 to right, because we know this must be positive, right? Positive. So is this one. Okay, so we use this one, we can get x. X actually is L divided by this one. But these things result, maybe you got 2.1 something. If you got 2.1, it's a float number. You want to x bigger equal than this one. You want to x smaller. You cannot make x equal to 2.1. Of course, 2.1 is the smallest number bigger equal than 2.1. But be careful, this x must be integer. You cannot have 2.1 cos sect. So you want to an integer bigger equal than 2.1. Of course, it's 3. Actually, it's the function cell of these numbers. Okay. Okay. We need to take a small break. Let's take a 6 minutes break. Okay. 6 minutes break. Okay. Are you back, guys? If we're back, let me know. Okay. 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 So our algorithm is okay. So first step, you need to calculate the days. How many days you can use? Let's see the max day for each one you can get. For this segment, if there is 6 cores, actually we can use the max day is 2, right? The max day is 2. You cannot use 3 days, right? If you use 3 days, you cannot find a solution. Why? You just separate them by half, right? So this 1, 2, 1, 2. So the max day you can get is 2 days. The solution is that you separate by half, correct? 2 days. For these 7 ones, the max day is what? It's 3 days, right? You can get 3 days. Also, something like half. 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 2 day, 3 day. The max day is 3 day. For this one, it's different. You just 3 minus 1, you can get 2 days, right, guys? So if we assume that the length is L, the formula actually is, for this special case, there is only 1 0. That means L minus 1. That's the max that you can get. For this one, actually is 7 minus 1 divided by 2. 7 minus 1, we separate this one, we split this one, then divided by 2. You got 6. 6 divided 2. You got 3 days, 1, 2, 3. And this one actually is still divided by 2. You can summarize how you get this formula, okay? You need a formula that you can calculate the max day you can use for each interval defined by the length of this interval, okay? And I leave this for you guys, okay? We don't have time to discuss how do you get this formula. You can summarize that, okay? You just write different lengths. You can find this formula, okay? This is a math problem. Actually use length minus 1 divided by 2. You got these numbers, right numbers, okay? And then we got the mean of them, 2, 3, 2, the mean of them is 2. So that means you can use at most 2 days for each interval. Then we go back here, we use that things that L divided by 2 times this max days plus 1, okay? Of course, we want to change it to float, so it's that one. This is a formula we just got, how we calculate the mean code for each segment. So for this one, use 6 divided by, your max day is this one. So you got 2. This one you need 2 cores. This one you use 7 divided by 5. Still you need 2 cores. And this segment maybe is special. Okay, you cannot use this formula. It's just L minus 1. No, it's just 2 days. Okay, you need 1 course is enough. 2 days. Also, maybe we can also use this formula. Okay, 2 days. So totally you need 6 days. Okay, or 6 course. Okay, that's the algorithm. Okay, and this formula you need figure out how you calculate this formula. I just take you a quick look for the code. First, we get a vector. This vector we save all the intervals. That means how many ones? 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1. I need these numbers. I just use this loop. You guys should familiar with this one. If the SI is 1, I do the CNT plus plus. If it's 0, that means the previous segment, 1 segment finished. I just push this CNT to the intervals and I change CNT to 0. So next segment will count how many new ones, new San 1 segment. Okay, and the last you need ensure you insert the last segment, because we only insert the segment length when we got 0. If the last segment end with 1, So when we miss one, we insert them. Okay. And here I do some special case because if there is it's all zero, so all these algorithms may be wrong. All zero means that answer is zero. Okay, I do a special case. Okay, and here I get max day. Max day is that I try to loop all the intervals, but except the first one and the second one, and I find the minimum of them. Each interval size minus 1 divided by 2 is how many day, max day for each interval. I got the smaller one between them. These two lines is do the special for the first and the last segment, because the first segment maybe it's left side and right side both 0. Then it's just like this one. But maybe the first segment start with 1. That you need to use this one rather than this one. Okay, and similar with the last segment. After you do that, you just loop all your intervals, add each interval's mean course. You got the answer. Okay, and I will share this for you guys. You can also study this up session. Okay, and we don't have enough time. We need to go to the third one. The third one, guys, is difficult or not. Okay, I have an integer is how many test case. That's okay. And for each test case, I get some numbers, n numbers, n integers. These n integers means that n plants initially hit. Okay, and also we got some integers for each integer. Every day, how many inches it can grow. And the last line said that, this TR means for each plant after several days, how many plants bigger than it, right? How many plants bigger than that? And we need to know, what? The minimum number of days, mean number of days. Okay, it's difficult, seems, right? So let's start something, okay? So maybe we got some plant. I use P1, P2, P3, P4. If I give you 4 plants, and this is the heat, maybe the first one heat is 10. The second one maybe is 5. The third one maybe at the beginning is 0. Maybe the fourth one is 20. I just give you by randomly, okay? And here is the AI. AI means that every day is increase what? I use A, okay? Every day the increasement. Or I can call it increase. Okay, the increase maybe the first one every day increase 2, second one every day increase 3, this one increase 1, this one increase 4. Okay, and I also give you another number. Let's say, okay, after finish this T means that how many number bigger than P1? Maybe 3 number bigger than P1, and 1 number bigger than P2, 2 number bigger than P3, 0 number bigger than P4. Okay. So actually here, the key thing for this one is that what means this T, guys? If I said 3 number bigger than P1, I mean the final P1, right? Finally, the P1, 3 number bigger than P1, 1 number bigger than P2, 2 number bigger than P3, 0 number bigger than P4. That means what? Yes, just like Timothy said. This means order. Order. If I got these 3, 1, 2, 0, that means P4 is the biggest one. And P2 is the second one. P3 is the third one. P4 is the last one. This is the order from bigger to smaller. Oh, sorry, this is P1. Okay, the last one is P1. Guys, this is the key things. Order, right? Think about that. Only this order, I call it FP, final. Finally, if the final hit satisfy this one, P4 bigger than P2, P2 bigger than P3, P3 bigger than P1, Your order is P4. In your array, it's like this one. You see? In this case, you see how many bigger than P1? 3, right? Why? All change the idea, If there is 3, 1 bigger than P1, 2, 1 bigger than P3, who is bigger? Think about that. 3, 1 bigger than P1, 2, 1 bigger than P3. Then P1, P3, who is bigger? Of course, P3, right? Guys, do you understand this one? This is a key thing. You have several numbers, right? You order them. You order the final hit. If you find, okay, there is 2 numbers in this array bigger than P3, there is 3 numbers in this P1 bigger than, in this array bigger than P1, then P3 must be bigger than P1. Or why you use another number? Think about that. If you order them like this one, you got 5 number, you order like this one. How many number bigger than the first one? 3. How many number bigger than second one? 2. How many number bigger than this one? 1. How many number bigger than last one? 0, right? Guys? Okay. So in reverse it, if you know 3, 2, 1, 0, these numbers, you know the orders, right? You have more number bigger than you. You is smaller, right? More number bigger than you, smaller you are. Guys, is that okay? Do you understand this one? And also for this problem, to make it easier, there's no 2 numbers same. No 2 numbers same. Okay? So I will not give you 2 numbers. Both has 2 number bigger than that. No. So why? Because it said this 3, 1, 2, 0 must be, unique. So there will be no 2 same number. All the number is different finally. Okay? Guys, is that okay? You got that one? Okay. So we got these things. We know finally P4 should be bigger than P2. We just seen this one. P4 should be bigger than P2. Okay? This is P4. This is P2. The first one, we want to make P4 bigger than P2. How we make big P4 bigger than P2? P4 at the beginning is 20. P2 at the beginning is 5. It's already bigger than that, right? Already bigger than that. So that means if you want to satisfy P4 bigger than P2, you need 0 days, right? You need 0 days. Here I ask, what is the minimum day you need? For this one, you just need 0 days. Okay, 0 days. And then second, let's see, how can you make P2 bigger than P3? If you want to P2 bigger than P3, P2 at the beginning is 5. P3 at the beginning is 0. Okay, 0 days. Already big. So nothing to do with this increasement. Okay, let's see the third one. We want to make P3 bigger than P1. How many days you need? P3 at the beginning is 0. P1 at the beginning is 10. Of course, P3 not bigger than P1. That means we need some days. Why? Every day, this plant increase, this plant increase. We need to make some days. After some days, this P3, each day it add 1, each day add 1. After some days, this one will be bigger than these things. Okay, but here we know for this one, no answer. The answer should be -1. Why? P3 is 0, P1 is 10. But we know the increment of P3 is 1. Increment from P1 is 2. You see, the first day, P3 is smaller than P1. The second day, P3 plus 1, P1 plus 2 is even smaller. you know, you can never make P3 bigger than P1 because at the beginning P1 smaller than P3 smaller than P2 or P1, and every day the increment for P3 also smaller than P1. How can you make P3 bigger than P1? Impossible, because they should use the same day, right? But every day the increments for P3 is smaller than P1. You can never make P3 bigger than P1. Guys, are you okay with this one, guys? Any question? You got this one? Guys? So we can.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but if I change the number, okay, I change this to 1. I change this to 1, change this to 2. That means at the beginning, P3 is 0, P1 is 10. But every day, P1 increase, P3 increase 2, P1 increase 1. Guys, how many days? After how many days? P3 bigger than P1? How many days? At day 0, P3 is 0, P1 is 10. And day 1, because P3 will plus 2, so change to 2. P1 will plus 1, change to 1. And day 2, plus 2, plus 1, right? And day 3, plus 4, 2 plus 1. You see, at some day, this P3 will be bigger than P1. Because at the beginning, P3 is smaller than P1, but every day P3 add a number, P1 add a number. And every day P3 add a bigger number than P1, right? So we know to some certain, after certain days, P3 will be bigger than P1. So after how many days P3 bigger than P1? We need a formula, right? We cannot just enumerate day, one day. So how many days? Guys, in day what? P3 will be bigger than P1? Who know that? Yeah, Timothy said this call is A1, we call it A3. Okay, so it's also a math problem. Let's assume after X days, P2, P3 bigger than P1. So how will you get this X? At the beginning, P3 is 0. So 0 plus X times 2, because each day I increase 2, should bigger than this P1, 10 plus X times 1. Right, guys? So this one, how we get this one? We move this to the left. So X times 2 minus 1 should be bigger than 10 minus 0. So we know X should be bigger than 10 minus 0 divided by 2 minus 1. So this is what? This is 10, right? If you want, so that means X should be bigger than 10. X should be bigger than 10. So at least you need a 10 day. And we can validate that. You know, P3 at the beginning is 0. After 10 days, it changed to 22, 20. After 10 days, this one should change to 20. So actually, you need 11 days, right? Because 10 days is just same. After 10 days, 0 plus 2 times 10 is 20. 10 plus 10 plus 1 is 20. It's same, but we want bigger, not same. So you need bigger than this 10. So what is this formula? Okay, this formula, we can get that in K. What is this formula? We know we use math to get this formula. Okay, is what? U1 want finally P3 bigger than P1. Okay, P3, you assume X days, it will be bigger than P1. Each day, P3 increase A3. And each day, P1 increase A1. So that means you need this happen, right? Assume X is how many days you need. Finally, after X days, P3 will change to this number. P1 will change this number. You want this one bigger than this one. And how we get this one? How we get X from here? X times, we move this to here, right? A3 minus A1 should be bigger than P1 minus P3. Correct, guys? And next step, X should be bigger than P1 minus P3 divided by A3 minus A1. You see here? X bigger than this one. You cannot just say, okay, X is this number plus 1. Right? No. Oh, we can't do that. Right? We just think about, okay, what is this X? Can this X, just be this number? Right? After these days, okay, you can just calculate this one. You think, okay, it's just like here. If P1, P3 is 10, and this one is 1, okay, you got answer should be 11. But think about if it is 3, right? If it is 3, 10 divided by 3 is 3. 3.3, right? But actually you need 4 days. Okay, you need 4 days. Okay, so it seems it's just X should equal to, if this divide is integer divide, it seems like this one, just plus 1. This one you need validate. You need to use different number to validate. This is the formula, guys. You need to get this formula, right? Okay, so let's go back here. I calculate here, I know here, if I want to, P4 bigger than P2 is 0 days. I want P2 bigger than P3, 0 days. But I need P3 bigger than P1, I need 11 days. So what is the smallest day you need? Is 11, right? Right, guys? Here, I need 0 days. I can satisfy this one. Here, I need 0 days. I can satisfy this one. Here, I need 11 days. I can satisfy this one. Of course, at least I need 11 days. Because here, 0 days means no matter you use 0 days, 1 days, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, it's okay. You can satisfy this one, right? But this one means 11 days. At least you need 11 days. This means you need 0 to infinite day. This means that you need 0 to infinite day. And this means that you need 11 to infinite day. Why infinite? Because after 11 days, no matter how many days, if you after 11 days, P3 always bigger than P1, right? So we got this range, this range, this range. Of course, the number is this 11. You need 11 days for this one, okay? And why after 11 days, this okay? Because 0 days is okay, 1 day is okay, 2 days is okay. Of course, 11 days is okay. 11 days satisfy this one. 11 days satisfy this one. So after 11 days, you got P4 bigger than P2, P2 bigger than P3, P3 bigger than P1. Then you got this one. You got this one, that means you satisfy this T. There is 3 number bigger than P1, 1 number bigger than P2. Guys, you got this one, okay? The basic idea, okay? Okay, but for this one, if you want to go to full credit, it's not finished. You need to think about different situation. Okay, so that means what? For example, finally, if you want to make P4 bigger than P3 and P3 bigger than P1, P1 bigger than P2, maybe. Okay, if you want to make P2, P4 bigger than P3, you may get a range. You may get, okay, at least I need maybe 4 days, but maybe you also get max, I need 6 days. Something like that. Okay. After some days, oh, actually, always like this one. Maybe 0 days. 0 days. At the beginning, P4 bigger than P3. At the beginning, P4 bigger than P3. But if A4, the increment for P4 smaller than P3, then maybe after several days, right? After several days, P4 smaller than P3, correct? So what you got for this to satisfy P4 bigger than P3 is a range. You know what I mean, guys? It's a range. You need maybe 0 days. At the beginning, P4 bigger than P3. Guys, do you need I give you something for this one? Do you need examples? P4 bigger than P3. So that means at the beginning it's okay. But maybe the increment every day, the increment for P4 is smaller than P3. See, P4 becomes smaller, P3 become bigger. So after some days, P4 no longer bigger than P3 because the increment is smaller. So that means to satisfy this one, you need a range. You can only make 0 to 6 days, you got this one. Similar for this P3 bigger than P1, maybe you also got a segment, is a range. You at least need maybe 6 days. And after 4 days, you can make it happen. But after 4 days, P3 always bigger than P1. This means at the beginning, P3 is smaller than P1, but the increment for P3 is bigger. So maybe after 4 days, P3 bigger than P1. So after that, all the P3 will bigger than P1, no matter how many days. This is infinite. Infinity, maybe you can think is a 1 in 9 something. Okay. And for this one also, you can get a range. Maybe this range is at least you need 5 days. Maybe you can use this one. Guys, for this case, do you know the answer? Let's see whose logic is clear. To satisfy this, you need 6 days. Satisfy this, you need 4 days, 5 days. So what is the max days you need, minimum days you need to satisfy this and this and this? Let's see who can go to that. Let's see. Okay. Different answer, right? What is the answer? Think about it, guys. Yes, then look at it. 5, right? 5. So that means what? You find the minimum day, the max number of the minimum day, right? Max number of this first number, 5. Okay. But guys, why I write this one? Be careful. Here, if I change this to 3, what's the answer, guys? Yes, -1, right? -1. But if I change this to 4, what is the answer? Yes, 4. So that means you guys, for each condition, you can get a minimum day, max day, minimum day, max day, minimum day, max day. And after you got minimum max day, you need to find a logic to get the answer. The normal answer is just the biggest one between all the minimum number. That's 5. But sometimes you got no answer. Summarize when you got no answer, right? Because the max day, if the max day, I mean the smaller one between all these max one bigger than your max day between this minimum one, then you got no answer, right? And another possibility is here, I got 4. That means the max, the smaller one between this max is smaller than the max between your minimum. In this case, the answer is this one, not this one, right? Think about it, guys. I think you guys can figure out that the different case, but the algorithm is just like I said. Sort them, you know who should be bigger than who. Then for each pair, you need P4 bigger than P3. How you judge that? It's easy. You know P4, P3's initial value. You know A4, A3, the increment. Of course, you can calculate how many days you need, right? Yes, Dan is right. You need all these condition okay. Then you just find the max value to make sure this okay, this okay, this okay, right? You got each interval, you know, mean value, max value to satisfy this, mean value, max value, satisfy this. How we get these two numbers is easy. You know P3, P1, you know increase A3, A1. Of course, you can calculate how many days you need, right? You know that all these things, then it's just change another one, give you some intervals, right? Give you some intervals. For it's like this one, give you intervals. Smaller, bigger star, smaller, bigger star, smaller, bigger star, smaller, bigger star. You just need to find the biggest value that satisfy inside all these segments. For example, here, no answer, because this biggest one is smaller than this one. But if your segment is like this one, of course, I know the biggest value is this one, because it can satisfy inside all the segment. Okay, it's use the graph to analyze that. If you cannot understand this one, just do here, just as Dan said. You need to satisfy all this one. Think about it's just the mean value or max value between the max or minimum, right? Some logic. You write something, I think you need to figure out what is the real answer. Okay? It's not difficult, guys. It's not difficult, okay? And also the code, I write a simple code, just use this logic. I will share in the folder. This T group, I got N, I got H, I got A, and here I just loop every plant. I just calculate the max day, okay? Max day is these things, okay? Or the minimum, between the minimum. I also need to know the max one between the mean days. The max one between the minimum days and the max one between the minimum, the mean one between the max days. Your final answer is -1 or this thing or this thing. Actually, it's just this choice. Okay, you can go to that. It's not difficult. Okay, guys, it's somehow difficult, right? But try to summarize what we discussed today. Actually, you can figure out that. You need some time. Write the numbers, analysis, summarize, right? And find the pattern. Okay? Then you got that. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I hope you all guys can pass in the January. Okay? Do not be frustrated. Okay? Sometimes it's just, you know, need lucky. Okay? If you just figure out that way you got that. If you can't, you can't, right? It's something like a math problem. We just need to practice more and we can get that. Okay, guys, any question for today? Okay, I will put the share code and the video in the share folder. You guys can, if you want, you can look at that. Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.